forget to go to asskicking.com and cop the new DBN Senate candle promoted for the Ward versus Kovalev rematch. All right, Dante's Boxing Nation, and we have the man, candidate for Trainer of the Year now, probably, my man Virgil Hunter. How you doing, Virgil?
Doing good, Dante. Doing good today here at the gym, right back on the grind.
That's what it is. Hey, I want to ask you, Virgil, now, you know, you have big wins, you have career-defining wins, and then you have historic wins. Where would you put this win?
It's hard to say. I would probably lean towards a big win, and then they can put the rest on it. And when I say a big win, for the simple reason, you know, we were doubted the first victory, so we want to make sure that we left no doubt the second one. So I'll let everybody else who want to take it further put the historical on it.
I mean, what exactly was the plan? Like, what were you guys thinking about taking away from Kovalev in this fight? Because it seemed like from the first round, it was a different fight from the first fight. Kovalev, he looked a little bit more confused. He looked out of range. I mean, what was it that you guys nullified or planned on nullifying?
Well, it's like I said in the press conference, I had only trained him 2 times to knock somebody out. The first one was Chad Dawson. The second one was Sergey Kovalev this past week. So in order to do that, we knew that we're going to have to put our head in the mouth of the cannon, so to speak. And but we, you know, Andre's ability to roll, to deflect, and I think that confused a lot of people who thought Kovalev was landing a lot of clean punches. If they look at it close, and I challenge anybody to sit down with me. You can't even remember him landing 2 punches that would make you go, oh, ooh. It doesn't exist. You know, he tapped his jab in there a few times, but if you notice, that was by design. In order to counter, you got to take something. But if you can deflect the power and parry the power and roll the power, you're in a position to counter. You can't counter unless you're in position to get hit yourself. So my eye saw Dre doing what he does best, deflecting, parrying, rolling with punches. So, you know, some people from a distance might thought some of them landed, but when you have a guy that can punch like Kovalev, if they landed, it would have been quite obvious that they landed.
And, I mean, this is just the way I've seen it, Virgil, but he looked a lot, I don't know if it's just from so many adjustments that you guys made, but it looked like all Kovalev was focused on was just palm with the jab, or sometimes he would throw a snapping jab. He was just trying to throw the 1-2, and it looked like Andre Ward figured that out early on, and that's all he really had to worry about. He didn't have to worry about no feints, no hooks. Is that what you were seeing in there?
Well, you got to allow him something. So you say, well, what are we going to allow him to get? You know, we want to counter to the jab and take away the right hand, which pretty much we did. Majority of the right hands, a lot of them were illegal punches. I mean, you know, rabbit punches behind the neck. Even from a long distance, he was throwing a chopping right hand, and it was landing behind the head. That lets you know that that punch was slipped. You know, but the plan really was to keep him occupied every second of every round, to force him to focus and force him to react, that he never would get a break and have time to take a break, to think, to set up something. We wanted to make him defensive every second of every round, keep making him be alert. And that's very, very difficult to do if you don't have the discipline to do it if you wasn't trained.
At what round, Virgil?
Every round.
Yep. At what round, Virgil, did you say, oh yeah, this is coming to an end? You know, this is the beginning of the end right here.
The first round.
The first round?
The reason why I said that is because he established his range in the first round. If you look at the first round, look who landed the clean shots.
Yeah.
That didn't happen before. I told him the first round is very important. Set the tone. You set the tone in the first round. You know, and some people, I don't know fight they were looking at is like Dan Rafael gave him the first 5 rounds. So
Wow.
I don't know if like Dan was looking at it from his vantage point, but that wasn't the case at all. And I challenged him on it. But nevertheless, it was going the way we needed it to go.
Yep. And two of the judges, like you said, we don't know what vantage point he was watching it from, because 2 of the actual official judges, they had Andre Ward winning the fight up until that point.
Yeah, they had him winning, and then the New Jersey judge, he had us down a little bit, but that's understandable. He's from New Jersey, where main events is. So, not saying it was on purpose or it was, indirect or whatever, but not going to complain about it, because our goal was not to let the fight go distance, and that's what we accomplished.
Yeah, but since we are talking about vantage points and all that kind of stuff, you had Harold Letterman, who also he had Kovalev up, and then the punch stats, which I can't see Kovalev landing the punches that the punch stats suggested. But I mean, do you think that's almost a little bit of a conflict of interest? The fact that this is all coming from HBO staff. This is not like some people they hire, some random people they hire that's just neutral. I mean, do you see it like that, as a conflict of interest almost?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go in on Letterman, what I mean. I'm just going to let that be what it is. But the copy box, to me, has always been a joke, because, I don't know if people know, but you got one man pushing buttons for one guy and another man pushing buttons for another. And so it's all objective. It's all what this person feels,
Yeah.
And, so the copy box is there to create, confusion, I should say, in the fight, or to prove a point for the flagship fighter. For instance, Lara lost to Canelo, and he landed a lot of jabs in the fight. And he outlanded Canelo. But they gave it to Canelo on pressure, aggression, but it has to be effective aggression. And but when it came to us, all of a sudden jabs counted in the first fight. You see, Kovalev landed more jabs. All of a sudden the jabs became a big issue. And then the next time it'll be for the house fighter, his aggression won him the fight. So the copy box is nothing to me but a tool to create all kind of negativity. And it's if it's man by man, then there's a lot of room for error and also favoritism.
Yeah. When it comes to Sergey Kovalev, you think Kovalev will? I know it's yet to be seen, but do you think he'll be the same, or you think he'll never be the same after this loss?
I think it remains to be seen how he comes back. Certainly making a lot of excuses doesn't sit well with anybody who you would think would come back effectively and rebound back, because you have to live with that. It's tough to live with yourself making excuses, but I don't know if he even created all those excuses. I see people whispering in his ear and everything, and when he doesn't want to speak English, he won't speak English. Some say it to him in Russian, he'll come back and say something that's outlandish. So who knows? That chapter is over, so I wish him well, and hopefully he can come back. Now, Adonis Stevenson is saying he wants to unify the belts. What do you think about that fight? Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, there's a lot of obstacles in the way for that fight. Then when you get right down to the fight, what is Adonis going to bring financially to the table? We're not going to Canada. That's for sure. And just the fact that he had enough opportunity to fight Kovalev, and he didn't. Really, now all of a sudden people are bringing his name up for us. See, before when we had to go to light heavyweight, all we heard was Kovalev's name. Now that Kovalev's out of the now we got to hear Stevenson's name. Well, I think right now we're in a good position to determine who we'll fight next. I don't see it being Stevenson next at all. I think him and Kovalev will make a good fight. They need to get their business out the way first.
That would be a good fight, man. Who would have the edge in that fight?
I don't know. You always got to give Stevenson a puncher's chance. And Kovalev a puncher's chance. I think it would be a very good fight. I can't pick a winner though.
Okay. I mean, you guys. I know. Well, I was gonna get to that later, but you guys. Is there anyone you guys are looking at light heavyweight? Do you guys plan on staying at light heavyweight for a minute before you try to move up, or whatever the case may be?
Haven't made any determination on anything yet. You know, that'll come with time. You know, one thing about us, we're not going to be rushed, and we're going to give it great thought. And so right now, it's a little too early to even say what direction we're thinking about going in right now.
Okay. And you know what? I just thought about something, Virgil. I just interviewed Abel Sanchez like 2 days ago, and I just thought about it after I got off the phone with Abel. But he told me, and I think I told you about this, he told me like a couple months when this fight was announced, he said if Andre Ward beats Sergey Kovalev, then Golovkin versus Ward would be a big fight, and we would want that fight if he could beat Kovalev in a rematch. What do you think about him saying that? Do you believe that?
I remember him saying that. So if Golovkin gets past Canelo, you know, maybe we can sit down and talk about that fight. But I remember him saying that. So, you know, it's there for him to back up now. If he gets if they get past Canelo, he should back that up. That would be a great fight. Absolutely.
And Virgil, I just want to say, man, you know, they talk about fighter of the year, trainer of the year, and all this kind of stuff. You know, you're one of the rare trainers that has brought a fighter up from the ground up. Like you basically, you know, played a role in building the car as opposed to just maintaining the car. So, I mean, do you think more trainers like that should get trainer of the year when they get a win this significant? I know you don't want to pat yourself too hard on the back, but
well, you know what? I have no control over who they pick for trainer of the year. You know, a lot of people could, you know, use the fact, you know, some of the guys who came to me offered knockouts. You know, some of them have won, some of them the victories are, you know, 50-50 or 70-30, you know, in some cases. But I'm going to always take on guys who come to me right, and, you know, maybe they're coming off a knockout and maybe they have a damaged psyche or whatever, because I think that's what makes you a good coach. You know, you can't be afraid to lose, and you have to lose to get better as a coach, you know. So it's easy to get winners, and I got winners in the gym. I have a young crop that's going to be really making a lot of noise in the next 2 years in a lot of weight divisions that, you know, I developed, and they're winning, and they're winning decisively. So, again, if it happens, I'm thankful. If it doesn't, I'm secure. I feel secure in who I am. And
who's this fighter you talking about, Virgil? That you about to?
Well, I have a young crop coming up. You know, with Tony Yoka, Marlo Moore, the, you know, heavyweight I put on the Olympic team, U.S. Olympic team. Mario Barrios, Suleiman from France, bronze medalist. You know, so got a good young crop coming up.
Cool, man. I got to ask you about Kathy Duva, man. The day before the fight, she put you on the spot. She said, Virgil, I see, or she said, I see you guys got all these towels out here. Are these the towels you guys are going to throw in to save Andre Ward? It's ironic how things turn out, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, I said if I need to, I certainly will throw it in.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I'll answer that question with the truth. Yeah, I'll throw it in. So I don't know if she's trying to get one up on me or whatever, but all you got to do is set yourself free, tell the truth.
I mean, did you? Oh, you missed it. You missed it. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube, but did you catch Kathy Duva when she kind of erupted at the press conference? She was basically yelling and telling the crowd to shut up and all that kind of stuff while she was talking. Did you catch any of that?
I did catch it on tape. That was unfortunate, and it just said a lot about her.
Virgil? Virgil? Hey, Virgil, you there? Okay, I think we lost Virgil, but we'll get him back, guys.
You have to, and when you're in her position, you have to have the expertise to work with all people.
Hey, Virgil, I'm just letting you know. You blanked. The phone went silent for like a whole minute, and you just popped back in right now.
Okay. To answer the question about Kathy, it's unfortunate. It showed a side of her that she really didn't need to have exposed. When you're in the public eye, like she is as a promoter, you have to have the ability and the know-how how to deal with the public in all capacities. And in that moment, she showed a lot of who she was and what she was about. And it's unfortunate, and hopefully if she's going to continue to promote, she can get that part of herself together, because it definitely could hurt her with fighters in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you got to get back to work, but I just want to close out with two predictions. I don't know if we talked about this one, but I want to ask you about who you picking when it comes to Canelo and Golovkin, and then Broner versus Garcia.
Both of those are 50-50 fights to me right now. I think just go by and you can see footage and, you get word of what's going on, that you could change your mind, But right now, they're 50-50 to me.
Okay, so you don't see anyone with a slight edge in those fights?
Not at this point.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate your time as always, and I look forward to chopping it up with you again when we have some more news to discuss.
Always.
All right.
No problem.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Take care, Virgil. All right.
All right.
Thanks, bro.